The studio lights were blinding, the crowd buzzing with anticipation. It was supposed to be another routine live TV appearance, a friendly political debate laced with Hollywood charisma. But no one in that studio, or the millions watching at home, could have predicted what was about to unfold. When legendary actor Robert De Niro turned to Senator John Kennedy and, with a mix of frustration and disbelief, called him dumb, the air seemed to freeze. The cameras zoomed in. The audience gasped. What followed next wasn't just a war of words, it became a defining moment about respect, resilience, and the power of composure under fire. De Niro, known for his fiery opinions and unapologetic bluntness, had come onto the show to discuss politics and Hollywood's role in shaping public opinion. Kennedy, on the other hand, had been invited to share his views on the entertainment industry's influence on American culture. The tension between celebrity and statesman was palpable even before the conversation began. De Niro leaned forward, his voice sharp, his tone unfiltered. "You're out of touch," he said. "You sound dumb when you talk about things you don't understand." The room fell silent, the audience unsure whether to laugh or cringe. It was a moment of raw, unscripted emotion, and it could have gone either way. But Kennedy didn't flinch. He didn't raise his voice, nor did he fire back in anger. Instead, he smiled. Calmly, almost disarmingly, he replied, "Mr. De Niro, intelligence isn't about knowing everything, it's about listening, learning, and knowing when to stay humble. You've mastered pretending to be other people. I've spent my life trying to understand them." The crowd erupted. It wasn't just a comeback, it was a lesson in grace and grit. In that instant, Kennedy turned what could have been a humiliating confrontation into a powerful statement about integrity. For a moment, even De Niro looked taken aback. The fiery actor who had built his career playing men who never backed down suddenly found himself facing something different, not aggression, but wisdom. And for the first time during the segment, he paused. "Fair point," he muttered, nodding slightly, the faintest hint of a smile breaking through the tension. That small gesture spoke volumes. It was a rare moment when two strong personalities from worlds that rarely see eye to eye found a flicker of mutual respect. Social media exploded within minutes. Clips of the exchange flooded X, YouTube, and TikTok. Comment sections became battlegrounds of opinion, but one sentiment echoed across platforms: Kennedy's composure had struck a chord. People were tired of shouting matches and insults. They were hungry for dignity, for proof that disagreement didn't have to mean disrespect. One user wrote, "That comeback wasn't about politics, it was about how to handle yourself when someone tries to knock you down." The next day, talk shows replayed the clip on loop. News outlets dissected every word. De Niro, perhaps realizing the weight of his words, released a brief statement acknowledging Kennedy's response. "I respect passion," he said. He stood his ground. "Maybe we both learned something." Kennedy, meanwhile, took the high road again, thanking De Niro for an honest conversation in a world that often rewards noise over thought. His words weren't boastful, they were reflective, almost grateful for the confrontation that had unexpectedly humanized both men. Behind the scenes, producers admitted they hadn't planned for such an explosive exchange. Yet, what began as a clash of egos had transformed into something far more meaningful. Viewers weren't just entertained, they were moved. Teachers used the clip in classrooms to discuss communication. Motivational speakers cited it as an example of emotional intelligence in real time. It wasn't just a celebrity spat anymore, it had become a mirror for how society handles conflict. And perhaps that's why this moment hit so hard. In an age when outrage often drowns out empathy, when people rush to shout rather than listen, Kennedy's quiet strength reminded millions that power doesn't always roar. Sometimes, it speaks softly, with truth and grace. De Niro's outburst may have sparked the fire, but Kennedy's response turned it into light. As the dust settled, both the men walked away changed. De Niro, for all his cinematic bravado, seemed to rediscover humility. Kennedy, often criticized for being too polished, showed the world the depth behind the composure. It was messy, human, and unforgettable. By the time the credits rolled and the cameras dimmed, the audience had witnessed more than just television drama. They had seen a rare, unfiltered glimpse of what it means to disagree with courage and to forgive with strength. In a world that often rewards the loudest voice, this exchange reminded everyone watching that true intelligence and true power lies in how you rise when someone tries to tear you down. In the end, Robert De Niro threw the first punch, but it was John Kennedy's calm, dignified comeback that delivered the real knockout.